Xbox Series X performing at its worst 15% slower than PlayStation 5 at 15% slower than PlayStation 5 at 15% slower than PlayStation 5 at 15% slower than PlayStation 5 at
What's good, YouTube? It's your host Axel Rose, the Shogun with the slogan, and you are now watching MVP Magazine. And yes, next gen is finally upon us. Yes, the new consoles are literally about to come out in England, Europe, Japan today. And we are witnessing fast, super speedy loading times thanks to that super fast SSD drive. And not only that, we are also witnessing the quickest L's in gaming history because the consoles hasn't even fully released yet, and Microsoft and the Xbox fanboys are already taking huge L's.
is that when kind of that shows off this issue is every single time you'll take out your torch and the time of day is just right so that the torch has shadows enabled on it. Series X will drop frames like you can see in this shot here, and it does it pretty heavily. Xbox Series X, when I took out my torch here, and the Sigurd character also has his torch out, full screen tearing the entire time during the sequence, and it's dropping to the mid to upper 40s, which in my humble opinion, that's not a very good 60 FPS.
Now, when the specifications for these consoles initially were dropped on the public, between the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, it did look like the X held a little bit of an advantage, maybe 15% advantage. But when we look at all the tests and comparisons between the two consoles, at the moment, it seems like the PlayStation 5 has been consistently outperforming the Series X on numerous AAA games, whether it be Capcom's Devil May Cry 5 or Call of Duty, and now Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It seems that the Xbox Series X is catching some L's. Some serious capital L's. Now, this all could be coming down to certain things like optimization with the hardware, but with the overall computational power advantage that the X has, this shouldn't be happening, and not so consistently.
Yeah, I mean, I would describe the PS5 version as being pretty much a stable 60 FPS experience with occasional little dips, the kind of thing you would expect on consoles.
Yeah,
But
right?
Series X definitely needs some work.
Now, as stated before, this could all come down to the tools that were used to optimize all the games between the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation. But that being said, when you're Microsoft and you are marketing your console as the most powerful beast that eats monsters for breakfast, this is unacceptable. And this is one of the reasons why when you are making a console, you definitely need launch exclusives, some launch titles that will definitely make the best of your console and put your technology in the best light. Imagine if Nintendo launched the Switch with something like LA Noire or WWF 2K18, it would have been a disaster. No, they made the right decision and launched with a much better version of one of their classic games, Breath of the Wild. It was much more graphically superior and ran a lot better than the Wii U version. And at the moment, there's nothing really on the Xbox Series X that takes full advantage of that raw power that's inside the box. So it just makes all that marketing that Microsoft are doing look like loads of lies. And we've all seen Microsoft lie before. Yeah, but we ain't need to get into there. But it just looks bad. It just looks really bad. So we got the Xbox fanboys on Twitter playing semantics instead of fresh new video games. It's really bad. It is really terrible. But it's the life that the Xbox fanboys lead.
No.
PS5, on the other hand, in that exact same scene, doing the exact same thing, it is tearing at the top of the screen and dropping some frames, going down to the mid to upper 50s, but where the tears are occurring, it's much less distracting, I would say, and it's just happening less often, and it's definitely hitting 60 more often than the Series X is. Series X is performing 15% worse in this scene than the PS5, while both are dropping. And that's not very good, actually, you know?
Now, as I've said, this could all be just a small issue of optimization. I'm not gonna lie. It is very funny that three different developers just all happen to have the same issue, whether it being, Ubisoft, Activision or Capcom, no, three AAA developers all with the same issue. Hey, it could just be that. But then again, Microsoft really need to get their marketing down. If you are going to market your console on being the most powerful, make sure these developers have the right tools to show that. Or hey, maybe you should dip your hands in those huge pockets of yours and actually get a launch title out on day one, which actually shows the power of your console, because Sony is over there sitting pretty with all the hype of Demon Souls looking great. And that's the fact of the matter. And that is honestly how things go. He who has the games has the masses. And even though Microsoft have made a ton of acquisitions, what is the point if nobody has anything there for your console's launch, which actually makes it look good? Now, a lot of the acquisitions have been new acquisitions. That is definitely true. But they've had people around them for ages, like 343, like the people who made State of Decay and all the other great stuff. Like, it would have been great to have something that really shows off the power of the Series X. And this is something that Microsoft definitely have to learn. Last generation, 2014 Gamescom, they was talking about games, 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 when their real slogan should have been cancel, cancel, cancel. Cancel Scalebound, cancel Project Spark, cancel Phantom Dust, just cancel everything out there in Microsoft, funny enough, they did more good stuff for Nintendo, but we ain't even gonna go there. We are not gonna go there because we are already here, and here isn't looking so good. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, Microsoft, you gotta get it together, man. You gotta get it together because right now the PlayStation 5 is outperforming that Series X, and it's got games, and you don't want that to happen. You really don't want the people to know that the Xbox doesn't have games again, because if that happens, you guys are going to be in some major trouble. And right now, it doesn't look like the power narrative is working out. It didn't work out for the X, and if it doesn't work out for this console, it's going to be real bad. Oh, oh, this isn't good.